Hey guys, it's Gold, and I'm back with a new series for you. This series is basically, it's going to be an introduction or a guide to PU. I know a lot of you already know PU, you play PU, that's why you're watching my videos, and so it's not just going to be basic information, I'm also going to cover some in-depth information that I think will help improve your guys' ability to play PU and your understanding of the metagame. But this is also meant to be somewhat of an introductory guide for those of you who haven't played PU yet or don't really understand the metagame yet in PU. I'm going to be going over some basic information as well. So this first episode just going to be like a test episode, see what you guys think about it. If you guys aren't interested in this, let me know, please. I don't want to keep making these if you guys aren't going to watch them. That's kind of the point of making them. So please do let me know if you're interested in this or not. But anyways, this first episode is looking at some of the biggest threats in PU. Some of these things I think should be banned from PU. Others are just massive threats to the tier that aren't necessarily overpowered, but you need to be ready for all the same. I've identified 6 of what I think are the biggest threats in PU. There's a couple other that could be on this list, but for now, these I think are, like I said, 6 of the biggest threats. Let's go over them. First up, we have Throw, and Throw is such a big threat because of this incredible HP stat followed up by that pretty darn good attack stat. And if you couple that with solid defenses, 85 in both, Throw is a bulky monster. I've set up here what's a fairly standard Throw set, just Assault Vest to cover the special defense, just max HP, just to take advantage of that insane HP stat, and a bunch of power for Throw. There's a lot of different ways to use Throw, which is part of what makes him so dangerous. Guts is a great ability for him because these bulky threats, if you could just burn this thing, it would be taken care of right there, but if you burn Throw, he just becomes more powerful. The other abilities, let's see here, Inner Focus and Mold Breaker really aren't that great for Throw, so almost everybody uses Guts. Another way to use Throw is I've seen Rest Talk on Throw, which is terrifying because Guts does activate while he's asleep. That counts as a status condition. You also could use Bulk Up on Throw. You'd obviously have to take away the Assault Vest for both of these ideas, give it lefties or something like that. But Bulk Up is horribly scary. If you make it max specially defensive and then Bulk Up covers your physical defense, Throw gets the power boost. Rest Talk with Bulk Up I've seen before with like Circle Throw. But anyways, the point is, another thing that makes Throw so dangerous is his versatility. I have found what I think is a great Pokemon to not only counter Throw, but then give your team a massive advantage here. I'm just going to show you the set real fast, and then I'm going to cut to some video that I recorded earlier with help from Miss Sisbit of how exactly this works. So the set is Drifloon with Weakness Policy and Unburden. Obviously this is Ghost type, so it's immune to Throw Stab, which is the first part of countering Throw. That Bulk Up set doesn't have a way to hit this Pokemon at all, and there really aren't very many Ghost types in PU. This is one of the few I recommend. In addition, it's got Acrobatics, which is Stab, and super effective on Throw, and gets the boost after the Weakness Policy goes. So I will cut now to the video showing how effective it is. In this video, I've got 2 different sets of Throw versus the same Drifloon twice, and these are the 2 worst possible threat sets that Throw could run to counter this Drifloon, and it shows you how well it takes on even those worst case scenarios. The only kind of Throw I can imagine that this Drifloon couldn't take on would be Choice Band. Alright, so this idea here is Drifloon versus Throw. You can switch it in on the predicted fighting move, and you don't take any damage from that. First turn, you just go for a Stockpile. This is a max HP, max defense variant, so you get your defenses up. He goes for a knockoff, because it's obvious play there. It's usually a Violite. You get all your attack raises. Now you just go for a Pain Split to get some HP back. He goes for Ice Punch if he has it. It's his best move. If not, knockoff doesn't do anything here. Now, even at max HP, max defense, you can go for an Acrobatics from this range at +2 attack and Unburden, and the no item for Acrobatics, I mean. And as soon as it updates here, you'll see how much it does. Boom, it just takes out that bulky threat. Here's the max attack, max defense version, and you just Stockpile first turn. same idea basically. It knocks off, does a lot more this time as you can see, but that's fine. We get our weakness policy, we just pain split again, and we get all that HP back. He goes to the ice punch again, we still live it easily, and we're free to go for the acrobatics one more time and take it out. That's how great this Pokemon is. Alright, and so as you guys can see, the Drifloon set, the idea is you bring it in on throw. If it goes for a fighting move, you've got immunity to that. Throws also occasionally run Earthquake, which it's immune to as well, but I wouldn't bank on that. So if you can bring it in on an easily predicted fighting move, then you're set. All you have to do is set up the Stockpile, then Pain Split, and then Acrobatics. Then you're in a great position. You've got the Unburden speed boost, you've got the +2 attack from the weakness policy, and you've got Acrobatics boosted up to 110 base power plus stab. If they bring in something that resists flying type, you can always just Baton Pass out and bring that huge amount of power, the defense, and the special attack and physical attack boost to any of your other Pokemon, as well as taking out one of the biggest threats in the tier. The next 4 threats, believe it or not, are actually all countered by this Diglett. It's Focus Sash with Arena Trap. Obviously, if hazards are up, this set is useless, so you need a good Pokemon to get rid of Stealth Rocks especially. In my next video in this series, I'm going to talk about Rapid Spinners and Defoggers, so you'll have a good understanding of that soon, if you don't already. But anyways, this Diglett, the idea is Arena Trap keeps the Pokemon that are locked in on the ground, they keep them trapped in, so they cannot switch out. Focus Sash allows Diglett to survive one hit and power up Reversal to its fullest potential. Earthquake is there for stab. Sucker Punch is there for priority, obviously, and Protect we will get into greater detail on the next couple Pokemon. But let's see what the next biggest threat is. It's just important to understand this Diglett set before I start explaining them. So I just go to my team here. Alright, and so the next huge threat is Sneasel. I think this is the biggest threat in PU, in my opinion. I think this Pokemon should be banned from PU, but it is not yet, so it's important to know how to counter it. They typically run Life Orb. I've also seen Choice Banded sets, which is terrifying. But it gets Knockoff for stab, Ice Shard for stab priority, Ice Punch for priority, sorry, not priority, for stab, and Swords Dance as just an amazing support move. If it gets up a Swords Dance, you are in big trouble. And so the way Diglett counters this Sneasel is acts as a revenge killer. Sneasel's going to come in and kill one of your Pokemon. Then you bring in Diglett. Sneasel is now trapped in. It can't get away at all, so it's just going to go for one of its mini stabs. All you have to do is go for Reversal, and you will kill it because it's going to take you down to 1 HP. Reversal is quad super effective on Sneasel, and it'll destroy the Sneasel, which really is not too bulky. And so your Diglett does go down to 1 HP, but Sneasel is gone. It's a massive threat, and it is taken care of well by Diglett. Next up is Ursaring. This Pokemon is terrifying because it has one of, I think the most powerful move as far as base power goes in the game, which is Stab Facade if you're statist. So Facade is 70 base power, which doubles if you're burned, poisoned, or paralyzed. And so that raises up to 140. Then it's Stab, so that raises it up to a further 210, which is just an insane power. Then it's got 2 great abilities. Quick Feet, where if it's statist, its speed gets raised to 1.5x. It ignores the paralyzed speed drop. So that, in my opinion, is the most powerful ability on Ursaring. But it also can use Guts, which, so not most powerful, but most effective ability. And Guts, if it's status, gets the 1.5 attack boost, which just raises Facade to an absurd power. Ursaring hits way too hard, and with Quick Feet, way too fast. Looking at its base stat as a 130 attack stat, which is really, that's by far the upper end of PU. That's one of the highest base stats in PU as far as attack goes. Then, like I said, it's got that extremely powerful Facade and potential for Quick Feet speed boost. Clearly, Ursaring is one of the most powerful sets in the tier, or Pokemon in the tier. It can, like, these two moves are walled by ghost types, but then it has Crunch to hit them super effective, so it has really good coverage. A lot of people run Protect just so they get their Toxic or Flame Orb activated for free. But you could also just run another coverage move. Anyways, this Pokemon is walled very simply by Diglett. You do basically the same thing you do with Sneasel. You bring it in to Revenge Kill. If it is Quick Feet, it's going to outspeed you, so you can't just switch it in. But if it's Guts, you can outspeed it, so you could just switch it in and take a hit because of your Focus Sash. But it's really hard to know the difference. My tip for you is, if it is a Flame Orb, then you know it must be Guts, because Flame Orb would cut his attack in half if it was Quick Feet, which doesn't happen in Guts. So if you see a Flame Orb on the Ursaring, you can switch in your Diglett, take it so you don't have to get one of your Pokemon sacked if you bring in Diglett for free. And then you're going to outspeed next turn. You go for that full power reversal, which is super effective on Ursaring, and should take it out. If it's Toxic Orb, it could be either Guts or Quick Feet. You don't want to risk it. You're just going to have to get a free switch in to Diglett to take it out, unfortunately. So I think Toxic Orb is the best item, just because that way you can bluff Quick Feet or Guts, and your opponent doesn't know what to use. Next up we have Slacking. If you're not prepared for Slacking, this thing will destroy your entire team. It is the best revenge killer in PU. I've seen a lot of Choice Scarf variants, and I think that is probably the most powerful. It allows you to outspeed everything besides other Scarfers in the tier. Retaliate is, well, it's like Facade pretty much in power. It doubles if an ally fainted last turn, so it becomes 140 plus Stab, so 210. Return is there in case you can't just revenge kill. You can just keep going for return. It's 102 base power plus Stab. EQ and Night Slash are just there for coverage. The reason this thing is so powerful is because these absurd stats: 150 HP, 160 attack, 100 defense, and 100 speed. If it weren't for the ability Traunt, which is, it skips every other turn, so it can only attack every other turn, this would be in Ubers. It would be one of the best Pokemon in Ubers. But Traunt completely destroys the Pokemon. That being said, it's still the best revenge killer in PU. But there is a very, very simple way to counter Slacking. As many of you may know, it's Protect. That's why I threw Protect on my Diglett. So what you can do is, they bring in their Slacking, you switch in your Diglett, it takes you down to your Sash on whatever attack it goes for. It's then trapped in because of Arena Trap. You just start going for the reversal. It's not going to kill in one hit just because of how annoyingly bulky Slacking is, and honestly because of how little power Diglett has. But on every turn Slacking's going to attack you, you just go for Protect. It then can't attack the turn after that. And you go for reversal and repeat the process until it dies. It cannot switch out, and it has no chance to kill your Diglett from there. Finally, Lairon. This is such a threat because it gets a Violite. It has 140 defense, with 50 special defense. If you invest in special defense, that actually becomes pretty darn bulky. 60 HP is more than usable, especially with those stats, and 90 attack with a Stab Head Smash, which is 150 base power plus Stab, is just insanely powerful. It gets Stealth Rocks. It gets Roar if you want to use it. I usually use Roar if I use a Lairon. It gets Earthquake. It gets Iron Head for dual stab, and Rock Head makes it so it doesn't take the recoil from Head Smash. And Sturdy is another usable ability where you can't get O-Code from full HP, but in all honesty, Lairon does not get O-Code from full HP very often anyways. This is a massive threat. It also can be an autonomized set, so it just sets up its speed and then goes for head smashes, which is terrifying. You need to be prepared for Lairon. Another good thing about it is its rock steel typing allows it to take on the mini flying threats in PU. Like, there are about 5 good bird physical attackers in this tier that really, they do well for themselves, but Lairon entirely walls them. It shuts them down. They can't touch it. You just get a free switch into Lairon, and then you get to head smash something. You need to be prepared for Lairon. This Pokemon is not overpowered. It shouldn't be banned from the tier, in my opinion. And the reason for that is it has two quad weaknesses. Ground and fighting both hit this thing for quadruple super effective damage. And so the obvious solution to this Lairon is, again, my Diglett. What you can do is, you don't want to switch it in and take a hit, because you might not, depending on the set, if it's max physically defensive, you're not going to kill it in one reversal from full HP, also depending on whether it has sturdy or not. So you're going to need to bring in Diglett safely. That usually means sacking a Pokemon in this case, but you get Diglett in. Again, it's trapped in because of Arena Trap. It can't go anywhere. You go for an Earthquake to break it sturdy and get it down to a range where your reversal will kill next turn. It attacks you, brings you down to your Sash, and then you finish it off with a reversal. Pretty simple. And I have some video of this actually working beautifully in a battle for you. I'm going to show you in a minute. But finally, Vileplume. Vileplume is one of those Pokemon that needs to be banned from the tier as soon as possible. And that is because of its stats along with its move pool. It's got very good HP, good defense, good special defense, and absurdly high special attack. That means it can be a wall with enough power without any investment to still punch holes in things. It can be a bulky attacker just because of its base defenses and super high special attack. You could just run like an Assault Vest set with it, for instance, or a Black Sludge set like I have here. This thing can do too many roles. It gets great moves such as Sleep Powder, it gets Leech Seed, it gets Toxic, of course, it gets Sludge Bomb for stab, Giga Drain for stab, Dazzling Gleam for coverage, Synthesis or Moonlight for recovery. I mean, this thing just has an incredible move pool, incredible base stats, and honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it'll be in U this tier, or this gen. I think it'll get moved up to RU because of the buff Poison type got. Now that it can hit fairies super effective, it's one of very few things that can do that. And because of the fact that it got a special attack raise in Gen 6. It didn't used to be this powerful. I think it was 100 or 90 in Gen 5. I think Vileplume will do pretty well in RU. If not, it will be one of the biggest threats in NU, and definitely, in my opinion, has no place in PU. So how do you counter a Vileplume? That brings me to my last Pokemon over here, Choice Specs Gothorita. Shadow Tag works similarly to Arena Trap, but they don't have to be ground locked, it just traps anything in. All you have to do is switch this in on a hit from Vileplume. It takes around half HP, a little less sometimes, depending on the set. Then you just go for the Spec Psychic, and you should be able to take it out. I have video of this working as well, so I'm going to show you. This is actually a live battle. It wasn't set up, unlike the first one was clearly set up just for demonstration purposes. This is just a demonstration in a live battle. So let me show you how well both Diglett and Gothorita do on taking on two of the biggest threats in PU. I'll see you guys in the battle. Bye. Alright, so this is actually turn 1 of a battle. He leaves with Infezant, and I just want to get my rocks up, so I go for that. No problem at all. I can just set that up. He can't do much to me. He does just switch right into Vileplume. And this is actually the clip where I noticed how well I can wall Vileplume. So I'm thinking about going into Gothorita here. I'm like, well, what's the speed? Because I honestly didn't know. And I am max speed, and I realized that I have 55 base speed, whereas Vileplume only has 50. So I'm free to just switch into a Vileplume. There's not many things that can switch into Vileplume safely. Gothorita is one of those. So I'm going to be like, alright, I can take this on. So I do switch directly into it. It goes for the Giga Drain, which does 45%. Makes me think it's offensive. So I just go right for the stab, super effective Spec Psychic, and am able to take out the Vileplume. Alright, let's look at Diglett now. Alright, and so right here, he brings in his Lairon on my Rotom. I'm just going to Pain Split for some HP here. But that actually didn't matter as long as his sturdy was broken, which isn't actually too big of a deal, but he sets up the Autonomize. I am terrified right now. I just try to get the Will-O-Wisp. If I didn't have Diglett, this thing would sweep my team, as it does outspeed and just take me out with a Stone Edge. So I'm in a pretty bad situation here if I didn't have Diglett. So I just want to know what its base speed is. I'm thinking within Autonomize it's going to be able to outspeed Diglett. So that means I just go straight into Diglett. I don't want to play around. I go right for the reversal. He's going to take me down to my Sash. The crit obviously didn't matter. And reversal takes it out here. Just beautiful wall to lair on.